Welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. Tonight we have Richard Starr. He's one of the newest members of the Cecil County Office of Economic Development. He's the Economic Development Coordinator. Thanks so much for being here.
How do you do? Nice to meet you. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you regarding that. Sorry. That's a smooth start.
What does it mean to be the Economic Development Coordinator?
Oh, okay. So the honest response to that is we're sort of still discovering that.
Okay.
However, my primary role really is that I should be the first point of contact for businesses that are coming to the county, businesses that want to expand. They really want me to be the first person that, sort of starts the relationship. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's other people in the department who get involved depending on what those businesses' needs are, but I'm sort of the first hurdle, well, hopefully not a hurdle, the first gatekeeper,
right.
To talk to them and start building a relationship with them.
Okay, so given that you're still figuring out how to define the role, but you must have a vision, I think, for your own.
When I say and that's a good question. When I say we're still sort of discovering it on the specific side. So, for example, there's all kinds of committees and task forces and whatnot from Aberdeen Proving Ground, mm-hmm. On through Elkton. And certainly Chris is going to want me to take on some of those things.
And that's Chris Moyer.
The director. Now, we haven't exactly decided how to make that happen yet. Mm-hmm. So that's the part of it that's sort of, I don't know, exactly how that's going to come to pass.
Right.
In the meantime, our vision is we really want to get out and meet all the business leaders. Mm-hmm. So, I before this started, I mentioned, tomorrow I have to put on a suit. We're going out to start and meet some business clients tomorrow afternoon, Sandra Edwards and I. We have a joint meeting actually with Alan Sexton from Susquehanna Workforce Network. So one of our goals is just to get out and meet business owners, particularly ones we haven't talked to in a while. Mm-hmm. What's going well, what's not going well, what are the challenges you're facing, and how can we bring resources that the county and perhaps even the state, how can we bring those resources to bear to help? To grow their business or make things go smoothly or open opportunities for them.
Mm-hmm. So looking back a little bit, you had quite a career before you arrived in the Office of Economic Development. What experiences do you feel you bring to the table?
That's a good question. Yes, I've worked in a lot of different industries. Insurance, banking. I ran a school for a while, and the one thing that I did learn is that all I think of our careers, all of our work, are relationship dependent. It's mm-hmm. about building relationships with people. Whether you're a teacher or an administrator or a salesman or an account executive or what have you, it's about building relationships with clients. Understanding their business, understanding them as individuals, what are their values, what are their goals. Mm-hmm. It's very tempting to think that businesses are all about, growing revenue and this or that, but, very often it's about preserving a business that maybe their father left them or passing their business on to the next generation, mm-hmm. or they really want to make an impact in a certain industry. So it's very important to build relationships with those people, and that's certainly a great skill set that I have, and I'd like to think that's what I'm bringing to the table. I've been very fortunate to work in a lot of different industries. So in commercial insurance, I did a lot of work with construction mm-hmm. Projects and companies. When I worked for the bank, we did a lot in government banking group and nonprofits. I have, managed a school in education. I run a nonprofit. So, I'm fairly familiar with most of the average challenges that are going mm-hmm. to come up for a business owner. And I think it's important to have that because it helps you think about what can we do for this person? Right. Is there a solution out there and what might it look like?
Looking ahead from an economic development standpoint, what do you hope to see in terms of economic development for Cecil County in the next 10 years from now?
So we have a number, we all know of marquee projects, Amazon and Project River and Great Wolf, and there's all kinds of things going on, both in the, countywide and for each municipality. I think one of the things that we really would like to focus on is bringing businesses to Cecil that prospective employees, families want to have here for a living experience. Like one of the, I don't want to say complaints, but some of the feedback you get from people who look at this county is, you don't have a Target. You have to drive to Newark or Aberdeen. And I've lived here for 25 years. That's part of living here. It doesn't bother me, but I guess, like my brother who lives, outside of Media, Pennsylvania, he thinks a 20-minute drive is, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you got to drive 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but it would be nice to bring some of those things, a movie theater, a greater variety of restaurants, those kinds of things. Maybe to see in some of the towns some multifamily development along with some commercial development. The sort of storefront walkability thing that you have in towns that's very attractive. Obviously we're not Philadelphia or anything like that, but I would like to focus on those kinds of small businesses that really have an impact on how people feel about living here.
Cecil County is pretty unique in that it is situated right along 95. We're less than an hour from Philadelphia, less than an hour from Baltimore. But when you look at the economic development that has gone on in other rural-ish counties, I think of Frederick immediately comes to mind.
Yeah.
Are there counties, or are any of those counties sort of a model for Cecil County, do you think?
That's a good question. I don't know offhand that we'd say that anybody's a model because, as you say, there's something unique about everything.
Right.
When I last worked in Baltimore, I had a lot of clients in Montgomery County and the area around the D.C. Beltway. Even then, Frederick was starting to become sort of a suburb for those D.C. people because you couldn't touch Montgomery County real estate prices. Well, that's going to have a very different impact on things than, say, Cecil County's location. Yes, we're close to Philadelphia, but we're not going to have people move into Cecil County who work in Philadelphia. I think the greatest thing that we can do is play to the strengths that we have. We do have a rural character. We do have very charming small towns. We do have a lot of great employment opportunities right now. We want to build on those things. I'm getting away from your point. Are they a model for us? No, I don't think so. Are there lessons that we can learn from things that they've done right and wrong? Absolutely. I don't want to go into those things, particularly the wrongly ones, right? Criticizing people on my first interview. But of course there are things that we can and should learn from them. But I don't know that we want to model ourselves on them.
Okay. Richard Starr, Cecil County's new Economic Development Coordinator. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thanks.